Hey everyone, how's it going? This is tryinmorning here today, and I'm making an announcement video to let you guys know that earlier in the month we started up a Patreon campaign. I let a few people know about it on stream, and I kind of mentioned it on the Discord a little bit that I have running, but I haven't really made a video for it yet, and now we're about halfway through the month, so I figured it's finally about time I got around to making that. So here we go. This video is to let you guys know a few things, mostly about what you can expect to change, if anything really, in the near future. Also, what kind of rewards are being offered on Patreon if you choose to support us there, as well as, I guess, my overall take on the whole Patreon thing and how I feel about what kind of perks should be offered and rewards and that kind of thing. Overall, I guess I'll also mention my goals and why I'm setting this up as well, because I figure you guys have a right to know that, so let's begin. So first of all, I'll mention real quick why I'm starting at the Patreon. Now, over the last year or so, I think it was probably like 2015 or maybe early 2016, YouTube started up this feature called fan funding, which was pretty cool, and actually a couple of people started supporting us through there. And it was an awesome feature, but they got rid of that in favor of Super Chat in like, I think just last February or March or something like that. Don't quote me on that because I have a horrible memory, but something along that lines. So that's something cool that people can do to like get like a cheer or whatever, kind of like on Twitch, except the YouTube equivalent during streaming. But I figured a cool way of rewarding people that support us like that would actually be doing like a Patreon thing instead. Because if I do something through there, I can actually offer unique rewards and kind of benefits that go along with that, depending on how much someone gives us, like if they give us more than someone else or that kind of thing. So I set up a number of different tiers, and I guess it would make the most sense to show you guys that as well while I'm going over this. So let me see, I have OBS running on the side here. I figure it makes the most sense if I show you guys while I'm doing this, because that way you can see exactly what is being offered. There are some things I've kind of been wondering about myself, if I'm going to have that included in like the following month. So if you guys give me feedback on that as well, that'd be great. So yes, patreon.com, this is the page I set up. Like I said, a couple of people know about this already, so I have some people supporting us on there. Actually we got our first goal, which was just, I'm going to start doing daily uploads if you haven't noticed. I've been trying to make that a thing lately. So yeah, I set that for like a $10 thing. Either way, I'm probably going to try to do it nonetheless, because daily uploads are very good for a healthy channel. I'll just let you guys know that much if you ever plan to get into YouTube. Now, the different kind of rewards I want to offer to people were kind of like the same thing I've seen other people offer. I took a lot of inspiration from other Patreon channels. So the first one is the Ultimate Student. Obviously, you can see these are Danganronpa influenced. And for that, if you support us or pledge, as the Patreon lingo goes, if you pledge $1 a month, you get a special thanks from us. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to do these kind of update videos much more frequently. In fact, I'm probably going to do another one this month before it's over. So you guys can look forward to that. That's going to have like a lot of information about what I'm going to be doing in the near future. But in these update videos, I'll be having like a credit section at the end, just to give special thanks to everyone who's supporting us, like no matter what the level. So basically, anything you give us, you'll automatically get some kind of credit for that. You also get access to Patreon posts, which they're kind of posts you can make on Patreon. I'm not sure how much I'm going to utilize that, to be honest, but I guess it's a good thing to use to keep people, at least on Patreon, to know of any updates I'm going to do in regards to that. So that'll be good for that at least. The next tier I made was the Ultimate Psychic. Obviously inspired by Hero, but obviously it's not as silly as Hero's psychic abilities. With this, if you pledge $3 or more per month, you'll have access to kind of knowing the schedule of what my upcoming LPs that I'm looking at to doing will be. So for example, I'd like to discuss kind of what I want to do in the near future, but a lot of the times, if you don't notice, I don't always get around to doing everything. So I'm going to have like a big post up of like all the games I'm currently looking at and considering doing. And anyone can really give me, they can give me, what's the word? Feedback. Yes, feedback. They give me feedback on what they think about the kind of videos that I may be making, the kind of series I'll be starting, if they think there's a new game coming out that'll be really cool I should try out. And also, once you're in this tier, you can start voting on games that we're going to be playing. So starting from, I guess it'll be June, because that's like the first month where everything will go through with the first Patreon thing. Starting in June, we'll be doing like a special series each month where we'll play a game, and it's actually going to be a game that the Patreons will vote on, and they'll decide exactly what kind of game we'll be playing. And that could be just about any game. The only real disclaimer I have on that is if it's anything that's going to be inappropriate for YouTube, where it could either get me in trouble or banned on the site, I probably won't do it. If it has some not safe for work things or not safe for YouTube things, I can censor out things to a certain degree. But if it's just like constant, sex or nudity or that kind of thing, it's probably not a good idea to do, because then we're probably gonna have to like cut out most of the game, so it won't be really much of a point in doing that now, would there be? So yeah, you can vote on games once you get to that level. And so the next tier after that is what I call the Ultimate Interviewer tier. And so once you get to this level, what you're able to do, and also I should probably mention, any level you donate at, you do get the stuff on the tiers above it as well, or below it. So if you do this, you'll also get the other tiers as well. Just so you guys know, I'm not sure if you guys are aware of that or not, so I figured I'd mention it. So this lets you submit an interview question for me to do during the podcast that I'm going to be running, or the weekly update. I'm not sure what I'm going to call it. I'm going to come up with a clever name for it, either like some kind of podcast or monthly update, and there'll be some clever title preceding that. I'm sure it'll be super clever, at least, knowing me. And it's a kind of question you can submit via audio or video clip, because really there's no real restrictions on people asking me questions. I mean, anyone could ask me a question. I'm not going to suddenly stop taking questions from people just because I'm running a Patreon. But if you do it this way, you could actually submit it via video or audio clip, and what I'll do is I'll stitch it into the video. That way you can become like kind of a part of the interview itself, or the video, I should say. So it's not like, I don't think it's like a real major big thing, but it might be something cool that people would want to do, so they could feel like they're a part of the update videos as well. Moving on to that, the $10 level tier is actually probably the one I put the most time and effort into thinking of, because I want to have like a lot of special things for that. So the first thing, and probably like the most clever thing I thought of up to this point, is what I call the artwork and special thanks. Now, it's going to be like kind of this, what I originally envisioned was like a postcard that would go out every month, but I know that a lot of people probably don't want to like share their address or that kind of thing, so I kind of made it more of an email thing. It's also actually a mail tier as well, if you do the $15 tier, because that's going to include like shipping and all the handling costs of doing that kind of thing. But I'm putting it also on a $10 tier, that way people who don't want to worry about getting it mailed to them can just receive it via email or that kind of thing. And what it is, it's basically going to be a piece of artwork that someone's going to draw for us. And it's going to include like kind of an anime or chibi or whatever version of us, like in a game that we're playing at the time. So for example, this month we're having, if you guys are aware of Joseph, who often shows up to the chat, also known as the Elder on any of the streams, he's actually drawing a piece of artwork for us right now featuring Persona characters, or I should say us kind of as Persona characters. So that's pretty cool. He's put a lot of work into it, and actually I found out from him, he's actually doing like all the work on his phone, which is pretty intense, and it still looks pretty awesome. So special thanks to Joseph. I really appreciate you doing that for me. It's very kind of you, and yeah. So it's going to be something he makes, and I'm going to include like a special letter to everyone just to thank them for supporting us. And each month it'll be something new. So it'll kind of be like a collectible thing too, if you guys think that's cool. You'll also get a shout out when we're doing the kind of videos like this in the future, the monthly podcast, which has yet to be named. And yeah, we'll shout out your name as well in the credit section. That way it's like a super bonus credit. As well as the fact you'll be getting the ability to nominate games that people will vote on. So I was trying to figure out how we would decide the games that people would vote on the other tiers. And what I figured was we'd leave that up to choices for the people that are doing the $10 tier. That way, they can pick the game that other people will vote on. That way it's not all like me picking out, because I feel like that could be kind of biased if I'm the one that's picking out every game. So yeah, if you do the $10 tier, you can actually help pick out the games that we'll be deciding on. And I should probably give a little bit more information on exactly what kind of special we'll be doing with the games that people are nominating and voting on. So it's going to be kind of a let's play, essentially. We might also do it as a stream, but I'm not sure. It'll at least be a let's play, obviously. We're going to play the game for pretty much like as long as we can. Now, it will depend, because if people vote on very long games, like say if people were to vote on Persona 4 for us to play, obviously that'd be an extremely long game to play. It'd be like 80 hours. So we wouldn't be able to really do it all in 1 month. So I would really recommend that people kind of recommend a bit shorter games, something that'd be along the lines of maybe 10 to 20 hours, because that's something they can guarantee that I'd be able to finish at least. And obviously I don't want to have too many longer Let's Plays going into like future months, Because if each month we're doing like an 80-hour Let's Play and we're adding that onto the list, obviously that's going to stack up and we'll be unable to finish them. So for these special Let's Plays we'll be doing that are voted on, I'm going to try to finish them to the best of my abilities. If there's something like 10 to 15 or even 20 hours maybe, I should be able to finish it all. But if it goes beyond that, I can't guarantee we'll be able to finish it all in time. I might have to go on like hiatus or something like that. So just so you guys are aware of that, I want to make that disclaimer now. Moving on, the $15 tier, like I kind of hinted at, it's basically the same as the other one. It's only the fact that you get the artwork mailed to you, and it'll be like kind of like a postcard, so it's not going to be that big, like about that big, I guess. So it'll be a small thing, but we'll mail it out each month, and you can kind of like a physical thing to hold. Like I said, if you're kind of into collectibles, maybe that'll be cool to you and appeal to you. But this is also one of the tiers where I'm kind of thinking about getting rid of. I'm not sure if there's going to be too many people that are into this. I know there's at least one person who's into it so far, and sounds like he wants to get the postcard mailed to him. So I'll definitely do that. But I'm kind of going to keep an eye on how many people want that goal going ahead. And if it's not like heavily supported, I'll probably just get rid of it going ahead and maybe replace it with something else that's more appealing. And finally, the $20 tier. Something else which some people raise concerns about is the co-op partner tier. Now with this, you can actually guest star with me in a video, and it'd be about, I'd say probably about an hour-long video we could do, or maybe like 2 videos. Although I'm not going to be like really strict with the time limit, so we could go a bit over if like it's a game we're into and, you know, we're kind of in the moment where we can't save and there's serious story stuff going on. So roughly an hour. It could be a little bit more. But yeah, essentially you'll be in a video with me. It could be like playing a multiplayer game, but it could also be playing a single player game. Really, it's up to you. Like, if you're going to support us on that level, it's definitely your choice. And also, what was the disclaimer I was going to make? Oh yeah, also, of course, if it's something that's inappropriate for YouTube, I may not be able to upload it, just so you're aware of course. But then again, if you just want it to be like a private thing, that's fine as well. I don't really mind. Kind of have it your way. Yeah, and what else was I trying to think of with this? Oh yeah, also, if it's a game that I don't have, I would be willing to play it, but obviously since it's like a $20 tier, if like people are wanting me to keep buying new games, I really couldn't handle that because I'd end up paying more money buying all the new games than I would get from the tier itself. So you kind of have to like either gift me the game on Steam or send me a copy of the game if it's on like PlayStation or some other system. But that's only if you want to do a new game that I don't have. If I do have the game, obviously I could play that totally on my own fine. And yeah, like I said, it's totally up to you. You have complete say if you want to do like a game that I already have, if you want to do a multiplayer game that I have, or if you want to do something new. It's totally under your discretion. And that pretty much sums up the tiers as I have them at this current point in time. So I hope that gives you a good overview and idea of what we have available to us under the tiers. I do have a whole description of basically what the Patreon is for, that kind of thing, the kind of expectations, and I guess just a real thank you to all the fans for supporting us over the years. So I will sum it up here briefly as well in this video, just so you guys know. I'm starting with the Patreon because, like I said, a few people were supporting us with like fan funding, and a couple of people tend to donate on the streams. And whenever people do that, I try to give them a shout out on the stream, do that kind of thing. But I've always kind of wanted to do a little bit something more for those kinds of people who support us, because they actually help us out a real lot whenever someone tips us on stream or kind of use the fan funding option in the past. Some people were really generous with that, and I really appreciate that. It really means a lot to me because I was not really expecting that to happen when we started streaming, or even when the fan funding option was a thing on YouTube. Like, I was really surprised that people were using that. So with this, I feel like I could actually give something back to those people. And I also feel like it's a good way to kind of ensure the future of the channel as well. Because with YouTube, there's a lot of weird stuff going on with the advertising, and a lot of things are uncertain. A lot of people are switching over to Twitch, and I kind of want to do the full Let's Play thing because that's been my thing all these years, and I kind of want to keep it up. I don't want to really abandon that. So I am starting the Patreon for that as well. I mean, not that I'm expecting to get a whole lot from this, but any amount is appreciated, and it'll go towards making future videos, making future games, and also improving my setup. One of the things I included in the goals, I also have this, stream a visual novel I would normally never play. I guess I'll sum this up briefly too, going a little off track, but there are a couple of visual novels over the years which people have nominated, and I said strictly I would probably never play that. Yeah, if we get this amount, I probably will do a stream on that. There's a couple that I'll have up for nomination, and of course people can suggest ones of their own, and I'll probably let people vote on which one we officially play. But again, that'd be kind of like a stream, so I'll play it for about, I don't know, three hours at a time. And I figured a lot of those games don't tend to be very long, so it'll probably be like 2 or 3 sessions, 2 or 3 streams, and hopefully we'll be finished whatever that game is. There's a couple I have in mind, but I don't want to suggest them in case people get the wrong idea and force me to play it. And I'm sure people already know what those are, which kind of visual novels I'm talking about. Some of the ones that Chris has played, or some of the ones that Christy has played over the years, and are ones that I've avoided intentionally. So yeah, that is a thing which we may have to do at some point. And at the $200 level tier, which I don't think it's something we'll have to worry about for a while, but it's something there to like aim for. This will be kind of like the moonshot goal, I guess, or whatever. If we do get to this, I'll start to make visual novel reviews, which is something I've wanted to do for some time. It's the fact that it takes a lot of time to actually make a decent review and put a decent amount of editing into it. Obviously, I could just do one off the cuff and kind of make a quick review, but it wouldn't really be too fancy. If I do this, it kind of involve like a lot of special equipment, maybe some skits. It wouldn't be anything like too absolutely crazy. I mean, maybe I just have like a better camera, because I'm recording on a camera right now and it's pretty decent. But the problem is a lot of times I have to stop the camera because I think it tends to overheat or something, but every now and then it stops the video and it's kind of annoying, obviously. So it's hard to film on this. I would have to get like a dedicated camera. And yeah, if we get to this tier, I'll be able to probably start buying that kind of equipment. And yeah, these are all the goals I have right now. If it actually does go beyond this in the future, obviously I would start doing even more amazing stuff. One of the things I would love to do in the future, except this is like a goal way out there, eventually in like the next year or so, I plan to move. And when I move, I kind of want to have like my own office dedicated to doing Let's Plays and streams and that kind of stuff. So I have my own designated space to do that. Right now, you probably can't tell because I have the thing behind me, but I'm just kind of recording in my room. Like my whole Let's Playing equipment, the whole setup, my computers, all that stuff is in my room right now. So it's kind of like a hectic situation. It's very crowded. And I would really like to have my own office for that, just to have my stuff set up in and like have a number of other things set up. One of the things I would kind of like to do in the future, and I would kind of need my own space dedicated for that, of course, would be kind of having like a green screen to have behind me and do that kind of thing with webcams. I think that'd be kind of a cool feature, especially with certain games. But obviously, it wouldn't really work out being in my room because obviously I have a whole bunch of other stuff. I have my bed, you know, the TV, that stuff. So I'd really need my own space for that. And if like we're doing like well enough on YouTube or on Patreon or something like that, I would obviously try to implement that in the future because I think that would really be a nice boon to the channel. I think that's about it. The one last thing I wanted to mention was just to reassure people that not too much is really going to be changing with the channel in the near future. We are starting the Patreon, but it's not really going to lock you out of anything if you don't support us. That's one thing I was really kind of hardcore on with setting up the Patreon goals, was that I didn't want to do anything that would really take things away from people. Because I feel like we're already offering people a lot on the YouTube channel. I don't think it'd be a good idea to kind of start taking away series or being like, oh yeah, if you support us and give us $5 a month, you can watch a series that we're not going to upload on YouTube. I really don't kind of believe in that kind of thing. I don't think that's a good idea for a number of reasons. One, I think it's kind of a shitty thing to do for the people that are watching your videos, is locking them out of certain series. I also think I honestly don't even know if you're allowed to do that, because with Let's Plays, it's kind of like a whole gray area to begin with. And I think if you put it behind a paywall like that, I think that's kind of like a slap in the face to the developers of the game. That's just my opinion. Not sure if everyone would agree with me on that, but it's something that I was kind of against doing. So as you can see, there's none of that. No matter what, you'll always be able to watch our videos, any Let's Plays we're doing, even the series that we're going to be doing, thanks to Patreon, like the series that are going to be voted on and the streams we're going to be doing, that stuff's all going to be up on YouTube. There's going to be no restrictions on that. You can watch that at any time. You don't need to support us to do that. Supporting us is really a completely optional thing, and it's something that I'm incredibly appreciative for if you do it, but it's in no way required. And if it's something you can't do, don't sweat it. I mean, it's really not something I would expect people to do if they're like short on money themselves, or if they're in a rough situation or, you know, whatever. Even if you do have a comfortable situation, it's not something that should ever be expected, but it's something that is really kind if you do. Yeah, no matter what, I just want you guys to know that we appreciate your viewership and your support. Anyone that leaves us comments, like, those are awesome. It makes me so happy every day to see all the comments we get on like the Persona series. Whenever we're streaming, we have good attendance and we have a lot of people that are active. So that always makes me happy to see in itself. And of course, as I'm doing this, my camera's blinking again, which makes me think the video is going to stop. So let me just restart that real quick. And yeah, so basically, whether you decide to support us or not on Patreon, I just want to thank you for helping the channel become what it has to this day. I mean, obviously we still have a long way to go to become a bigger channel. We're still pretty tiny in the grand scheme of YouTube. So I do thank you for your support. You can continue supporting us just through your viewership and, you know, leaving comments, giving us likes, that kind of thing. If you know anyone that would like our videos, feel free to share them with them. Like, one of the things that's really surprised me in the past was, I think it was Shadowcat. Shadowcat actually shared our video with like someone else they knew, and then they ended up becoming a fan and watched us on stream. I'm like, whoa, that's pretty awesome. So if you know anyone that would like watching our videos, make sure you suggest it to them. I mean, that's an incredible way you can support our channel. One of the things most important to our channel right now, aside from like this whole Patreon thing, what's even more important than that is just getting an increase in viewership. So if you know anyone that would like the channel, that helps us out in like so many ways. So yeah, I mean, just being along for the ride, that's enough for me. And if you comment, even better. I think that's about all I could say. I mean, I sum it up here. I'm usually better putting things into words when I'm typing than I am speaking. I tend to be a terrible speaker, so excuse me if any of that was worded awkwardly. But yeah, essentially, guys, thank you for everything. You've been incredibly helpful throughout the years, and doing series like Danganronpa and Persona 5 has really brought out an incredibly positive audience. Like, I can't believe it. Like, a lot of people have audiences on YouTube and they complain because the comments are shit. For the most part, we have pretty amazing commenters, and I'm like always surprised by the number of people who just want to support us and help us along in these games, and they give us good advice and give us suggestions on what to do and awesome games to play. Like, the whole reason we're playing Persona right now, Persona 5, is because of viewers suggesting it over the years. I never would have played the game if it wasn't for you guys. And it turned out to be like one of my most favorite games of all time. I'm not even kidding. Like, I thought Danganronpa was like one of the most like surprisingly like good series we've done to this point. And Persona 5 has just like been incredibly fun to do. And I probably never would have played it if it wasn't for you guys. So, hey, if I had my hat, I would tip it to you guys right now, because once again, all the credit has to go to you. That's about it. I have some other things I want to update you guys on, but it'll probably be in a different video. I hope you guys, yeah, I hope you guys have been enjoying everything lately. I don't know what to say. Like I said, I'm bad with putting things into words when I'm speaking, but I'm incredibly thankful for you guys, no matter what you decide to do. And I just want you guys to know that. So, thank you, and take care. Peace out.